and he was one of the first galleries to open up in Chelsea, and still there.
Yes.
He's doing well.
What does he think about your paintings? Did he ever give you construction?
He loves my paintings. But
He
you know,
does?
when I was living in New York,
Uh-huh.
I met him through a friend of mine that I was in college with.
Mhm.
Went to one of his shows at George's gallery. Met George. He came to my studio, and at the time I was doing the big head paintings. And at that time, he wasn't as interested in my work as far as representation goes.
Right.
And then when I left New York and went to San Francisco, he came out to visit, and I brought in one of my small, more intimate paintings with the detail, and that's where we started.
Craig, was it interesting for you to live in San Francisco, the comparison of San Francisco, New York, and L.A.? You know, San Francisco's, tell me about that as a painter. It's much better in San Francisco?
Technology is the king in San Francisco.
It is.
Yeah, and what one has to remember, because the ideal of San Francisco, the reputation of San Francisco is a creative environment where creative people go to live and work. And that's where, when I was living in Columbus, Ohio, I wanted to go to San Francisco because that's where all the creative people went.
Yeah.
And New York. But I had to go through New York first. But what I found when I went to San Francisco is there are a lot of creative people there, and there's a lot of art happening there, but a lot of it's new, contemporary, meaning the work that's computer related, because that's what's happening in that area.
Yeah.
There's a lot more in New York and in Los Angeles. There's a lot more painters.
Right.
So this is a little better environment for me in Los Angeles because there are more painters.
There are a lot of painters
more
here,
painters
aren't there?
here.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
Yeah. But if you're into video,
and they all live in Venice. They do, don't they? They live in Venice. Why? By the beach.
Got to live by the water. Yeah.
Is that very important?
Well, I think it is. The water's different down here than it is up north, but
Uh-huh.
you know, to live close to the water, I mean, it's
Gives you
a feeling
clear
of the
thoughts.
spirit. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you know when to go out there. You don't want to go out there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when the crowd's out there, but if you go out in the morning or go out, you know, at the end of the evening, it's beautiful.
What's the most important quality that you see in some of your work?
Well, on the surface, the detail.
The detail.
The detail, I focus a lot on the detail in the paintings.
Because I see it. That is really detail.
Yeah,
that is all detail, really detailed.
Lots of detail, and that's the way I've gone to bring focus to my work.
Is that your life too? Is your life very detailed? Would you say? You have to be.
Yeah, I'm very organized.
Because you're bringing it, your life, you're bringing it on canvas.
Sure. My belief is everything I create is a self-portrait, not meaning the obvious that this is a picture of Craig Carlisle. It's not. But
no, I
deep
understand.
underneath it's everything I make is a self-portrait of the time. And I believe that, and I stand by that. So the detail is important right now in my life.
What are these all about? Tell me.
Well, that would all be taken from my website as far as a printout goes.
Look at those wonderful pictures. What is this, all this crazy thing here? I
yeah,
love
and that's the archives. Those are different pictures from different years.
Oh, my God. What started? Which one started first?
Well, down here would be those paintings. There would be those would be the big heads.
Right, and then it goes up.
And then you go up, and there's the opera singers right here. And that was with my first show with George in New York in 2000.
The opera singer. Oh, wonderful.
You'll see her in the green dress, and
she's wonderful. Well, look at that. I love it.
She's on the stage with the trees behind her.
Yes, look at her. Isn't she marvelous?
And then below that's the Pink Monster.
Did someone buy that already?
Yeah, that's sold in the show in 2000.
It did?
Yeah.
Right away, I would have bought that. That's a great one. What kind of an audience do you have? Come on, tell me about your audience, because that kind of a show, your paintings, what kind of an audience do you really get to come to see you?
It's a mix. It really is.
It is a mix?
I have art collectors. I have people that are young and people that are older. I encourage people to bring their children. And it's a normal art opening of mine. I want to keep it very open and broad and let as many people experience the work as possible.
You've got some great reviews here, baby, from the Los Angeles Times to New York Times. Look at this. This is your big head, your first one. Look, you've been heading the papers. Look at all this. Look at that. That was your very first. This is the Pink Monster. This is not pink. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a Pink Monster. That's called the Macho Monster.
Yes, it is. I'm telling you something. You've got some great reviews, Craig.
Thank you.
Carlisle. Is that your real name, Craig Carlisle? It's a great name.
I was
so-
born with that name, yes.
Oh, yeah, well, the Hotel Carlisle in New York. Have you ever been there to see the show at Hotel Carlisle?
Well, I know the hotel,
No,
but not
yeah,
been to the
that's a
show.
great hotel. I love that hotel. And I love New York, too. You must get a lot of people. The Kennedys must go to your, you must have a lot of society women.
In New
come-
York,
In
yeah,
New York.
in New
Tell me
York you
about
get
that.
that.
Some of the people have come. You must throw some names to me. You must have some.
Oh, I can't name drop
You
today.
can't name
No, I
drop?
can't do that.
Okay, if you don't
No,
want to name
I can't
drop,
do
that's
that.
okay. I like your, look at your picture here. You don't like to do name. What is this, Craig?
Well, that's that would be the top part of a painting that got cut off, but that's the eyes of the teddy
is,
bear.
is that great?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the
That's Bigfoot. It's a
Bigfoot.
painting I
Let's
did
see.
last year of Bigfoot,
I love it.
which you can actually see here on this.
Oh, this
if
one
you
right
just-
here.
yeah,
Let's
that's
show it.
a better picture
Oh,
of it.
here we are.
Yeah, that was
That's
about a
There,
5-foot
that's it.
painting of Bigfoot. Now, yeah, if you remember, the Bigfoot is always followed around by the paparazzi,
Uh-huh.
right? So when he
Yes.
comes out of the woods, he gets his picture taken, and then we try to find him. Well, this is a picture of the Bigfoot as he came out
Uh-huh.
of the woods, and he came out with a big smile on his face
Uh-huh.
and a flower on his nose,
Uh-huh.
and wanted to let people know that he was safe. And so I did a painting of that.
Are you going to make a book of your paintings?
Absolutely. Have to have a
You
book.
said that right away.
This-
Absolutely.
The painting right here has got to be on the cover. I love that.
This one
painting.
right here?
Yeah,
It's my favorite.
thank you.
It really is my favorite. You like it. You have good taste. I
I
love
love
it.
that.
That's going to be your cover of your book?
I'd love that to be the cover of my book.
Yes? What are you going to call the book? You have a title yet?
Well, to start with, it would just be a series of works. It would be Craig Carlisle.
Craig Carlisle?
Mhm.
Okay.
It's an artist retrospective.
Uh-huh. It's going to be a beautiful book. It's going to have all the colorful paintings in the book
mhm.
and little captures and
Yeah.
talking about it. That's going to be nice. Very nice. Are you married?
No.
Single? No?
Single,
Mhm.
yeah.
Living in L.A., you like it?
Love it.
Do you
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's your morning like? So before you start working, you get up very early, do you, or
I get up
start
when
to paint, or?
the light wakes me up.
The
So
light?
the sun wakes me up usually.
Uh-huh.
And so, I'll get
You don't
up
sleep in
and-
a dark room then?
No, I have windows, so when the light comes through, I can't
I
control
have
it that
dark
much.
drapes. I sleep in the dark room.
No, I don't have
drapes.
dark drapes. I just have regular blinds, and when the
Oh,
light
really?
comes through, I
And
wake
you love
up
the
and.
sun to come in and bring it in, huh?
That's right.
Okay, okay.
And then it starts off with a hot cup of green tea.
Green tea?
Mhm.
What does green tea do? Everybody drinks green tea,
I mean,
black
you should
tea?
drink green tea.
Why?
You
What is,
must. It's good for you.
is it really?
Yeah.
Good for me what?
Antioxidants.
Oh, antioxidant. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
It's
you're
good
a health,
for you.
So you're an artist with a health.
I take care of myself. Yeah.
You take care of your
Yeah.
health. That's why you look so good, and you exercise, and
Mhm.
because an artist who paints is there all the time, and you got to exercise, but you don't exercise because you're smelling that paint.
I sit for
Smells.
eight hours in the day. I'm sitting. I've got to
Look
get
at
up and
that
stretch.
painting, the smell.
Yeah.
Give me this, bud. Let me that thing. I love this. You keep smelling this yellow and the pink, and look at that. Isn't she pretty? That's a pretty one. What do you call this?
That's Happy the Clown.
Happy the Clown.
Yeah.
And you're going to sell this too. Is this going to be up at the thing?
This actually is going to a show I'm having next month in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, you are?
Mhm.
Are you having a show? Oh,
I
you're
have a
going
show.
home.
Yep, I have a show once a year there. It's an annual show
Uh-huh.
in April, and so I'm preparing for that show.
So you're preparing for back home. They're going to welcome you back?
That's right.
With their arms and all that?
Yeah.
I think it's
It'll be
great.
fun. It always is. Lots of friends and collectors
Uh-huh.
go to that show.
Craig, how many heads you have sold? You said 12 or 32 heads, something like that? Heads?
The big head paintings?
Yeah, the paintings, yeah, the big ones. You sold a lot of them?
Well, at my very first show, I had 36. I'm trying to remember, like 36 large head paintings.
Uh-huh.
I think over half of those sold that opening night.
Uh-huh.
And overall, as far as paintings go, I mean, I've made and sold hundreds and hundreds of paintings. So the big heads, I think that series probably stopped at around 200, and then I did a large series of the smaller heads as well.
Do you feel that your paintings are going to be worth more later on than now?
The very first big head painting I did in 1993, went back on the market and resold last year in Columbus, Ohio, where I
Right.
did it. Resold last year for, I think it was around $10,000 or $12,000.
$12,000.
Yeah, and when I sold it for my studio back in '94, I sold it for like $1,000 maybe, just
Right.
to get